From the House of Assembly this week. Ogun Assembly swears in Ikenne APC lawmaker after appeal court's victory. Ogun earmarks 11.410 billion naira for health ministry as hospitals board gets 12 billion naira estimates next year. Ogun lawmakers challenge environment ministry on ecological issues, refuse collection. These and many more will come to your viewing pleasure in the course of the program.
The Court of Appeal sitting in Lagos on November 22 nullified the election of Babajide Owodunni and declared Olakunle Sobukola elected. At the last plenary, Speaker Right Honorable Olakunle Oluomo informed the House that it has received a correspondence informing the House of the judgment of the Appeal Court, which sacked Babajide Owodunni as member of the House and declared Honorable Olakunle Sobukola elected. Sequel to this, Honorable Olakunle Sobukola at the Tuesday plenary took the oath of office, an oath of allegiance administered by the Deputy Clerk, Mrs. Fumilayo Adeyemi, during plenary held at the Assembly Complex, Okemoso, Abeokuta.
Hi.
Olakunle Sobukola.
Do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
That I will be faithful.
That I will be faithful.
And bear true allegiance.
And bear true allegiance.
To the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
To the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
That as a member.
That as a member.
Of the House of Assembly.
Of the House of Assembly.
I will perform my function.
I perform my function. Best of my ability. So help me God.
The Speaker, Right Honorable Olakunle Oluomo, on behalf of other lawmakers, congratulated Sobukola for returning to the House of Assembly. Speaking shortly after his swearing in, Honorable Sobukola, who was also a member of the 9th Legislature, promised to always remain a good representative of his constituents.
I promise to get the wheel of representation moving again. I know I have some time to make up, but God willing, God will help me. Just time to get to know my colleagues and all. And I thank God, and most importantly, I thank the Governor of Ogun State, His Excellency Prince Dr. Abeokuta, for making today possible.
He, however, appreciated his colleagues for their uprightness and for standing by him during the period. Speaking at the ongoing 2024 budget defense before the Committee on Finance and Appropriation, chaired by Honorable Musefiu Lamidi, Special Advisor and Managing Director of the Corporation, Architect Abiodun Arule, who was represented by the Director of Finance, Mrs. Mudupeola Ononuga, revealed that the corporation's revenue, according to the corporation's 2024 budget proposal, will be generated from the allocation of industrial and residential land of various sizes, including Opik Estate and Igbesa Land Premium, New Makun Land Premium, Alamala New Town, penal fees, sales of buildings, MTR Garden, Isheri and King's Court Estate Phase 2 Abeokuta. Other sources of revenue listed were MTR Apartment Warewa, Opik New Garden Estate Agbara, earnings from sundry income, site services program, and other fees and levies, among others. According to R, the corporation equally planned to expend the sum of 6.013 billion naira as its total expenditure for the next fiscal year, out of which capital expenditure will go up 5 billion naira. The remaining 1.013 billion naira will go for recurrent expenditure. Other agencies that defended their budget proposals before the committee included the Office of the Head of Service, Ministry of Justice and its Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs counterpart, as well as Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, Judicial Service Commission, the Judiciary, State Customary Court of Appeal, Local Government Service Commission and Bureau of Local Government Pensions, amongst others, also defended their budget proposals. Giving a breakdown of the budget proposal, Commissioner for Health Dr. Tomi Koka disclosed that the construction of 10 ambulance points, 2 per 5 health zones, with their M&E will go up 300.6 million naira, while 3.89 billion naira was to be expended on the construction of additional hostel blocks of 150 rooms for hostel use per location for the schools of nursing and midwifery situated at Ilaro, Ijebu-Ode, Idiaba, as well as the construction of additional classrooms for the State College of Nursing at Abeokuta, Ijebu and Ilaro.
We're hoping to do for all the general hospitals is what we call we're lighting up all our hospitals. So our hope is by the end of this budget here that every general hospital will have a reliable power source in the form of solar, that so Ijebu would actually benefit from that.
In a related development, the Permanent Secretary of Ogun State Hospital Management Board, Dr. Olayinka Elemide, has assured that the board will continue to ensure effective management of all health facilities in the state to promote a healthy well-being of the people, thereby improving on the lifespan of the average residents of the state. To achieve the above, the board proposed to rehabilitate existing hospitals across the 3 senatorial districts of the state, while expanding community mental health centers, 3 dental centers with additional dental laboratories. To achieve the foregoing, Dr. Lemide noted that the board had proposed a total budget proposal of 12.707 billion naira, consisting of 4.315 billion naira for recurrent expenditure and the remaining 8.392 billion naira to cater for capital projects, with revenue projection put at 400 million naira.
Presenting the proposed budget of over 1.005 billion naira of the Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development as contained in the state's 2024 Budget Appropriation Bill, Commissioner in the Ministry, Honorable Adijat Adeleye, noted that out of the total budget, the sum of 353 billion naira would go for capital projects. She explained that over 651 million naira was being earmarked for recurrent expenditure, while the sum of over 12 million naira was being expected as revenue for the period.
Recently, one of the major things that we've been doing is activities against gender-based violence. Most of the time when there is gender-based violence and the person cannot go back to where that violence has occurred, there is nowhere in the state at the moment where we can keep such people. So His Excellency the Governor promised during the 16 days activism that a shelter will be provided. At the moment, we don't have one.
Commissioner stated that part of the objective of the budget was to ensure the completion of Fati Lami Rehabilitation Center at Okelewo and that of Women Development Center at Kobakpe, amongst others. She commended the Assembly for identifying with the ministry through their strategic roles of orientating the grassroots on gender-based issues, especially the enactment of relevant legislations to protect the women and other vulnerable groups. Other agencies that defended their budget estimates for the next fiscal year included the Ministry of Community Development and Cooperatives, its Youth and Sports counterpart, as well as the Office of the Auditor General of the state and its local government counterparts, amongst others.
As the 2024 budget defense embarked upon by the State House of Assembly on ministries, departments and agencies entered third day, Ministry of Education took the center stage as the head of universities and polytechnics defended their 2024 budget proposals. Addressing them, lawmakers in their submissions noted that the delay that was always experienced by students need to be immediately addressed through a more seamless processing of transcript requests to enable them fulfill their academic pursuits in any part of the globe.
I want to plead with the head of our institutions, especially our universities. Transcript processing shouldn't be difficult, more so with the advent of information technology. So if our portals are out running, then the process of transcript processing and collection should also be auto running and seamless.
I want to say that our institution needs help, particularly all these polytechnics. Some of the courses in the polytechnics need to be accredited. When it comes to accreditation of courses, you need to spend a lot of money to accredit courses.
The lawmakers implored them to always consider the present economic situation, thereby making whatever increment in their school fees reflect human face, noting that it had become imperative for the state government to consider increasing the subvention to the institutions to ease their financial burdens for improved service delivery. According to the assemblymen, the improved subvention would enhance smooth accreditation of relevant courses and programs in the schools, thus repositioning and making them more attractive to the existing and prospective students. Citing the recent cases of insecurity around the campuses of some of the schools across the state, the lawmakers sought for improved security network to checkmate threats to the lives and property of the students and other residents, both on campuses within the institution's immediate communities. Apart from the Ministry of Education, Science and Technology, led by its Commissioner Professor Abayomi Arigbabu, other institutions included Olabisi Onabanjo University, Tai Solarin University of Education, Moshood Abiola Polytechnic, led by its Rector, Dr. Adeoyo Dedeji, DS Adegbero ICT Polytechnic, led by Dr. Goke Rauf, as well as the State Universal Basic Education Board, had their 2024 budget proposals defended before the members of Committee of the Finance and Appropriation. Defending the 2024 proposed budget for the Ministry of Environment by its Commissioner Ola Oresoya before the members of the House Committee on Finance and Appropriation, chaired by Honorable Musefiu Lamidi, the lawmakers outlined that various communities in their constituencies where flooding and indiscriminate dumping of refuse by individuals and industrial organizations had caused environmental havoc, admonishing the ministry to consider ensuring strict adherence to environmental policies while embarking on more enforcement drive across the 3 senatorial districts of the state. They implored the ministry to ensure holistic implementation of its 2024 budget proposal when passed by the Assembly and assented to by Governor Dapo Abiodun to address the erosion challenge being faced by the rural communities in the state. Responding, the commissioner noted that the ministry had embarked on impact assessment of some affected areas across the state in conjunction with some state and federal agencies, adding that the ministry would continue to pursue diligently its core mandate of making the environment clean and safe for all.
Environment is a key sector that has a serious impact when it comes to utility services. So if we can improve on our envelope and access to funds, we'll appreciate the effort of the House.
Other agencies that defended their budget proposals before the state lawmakers included Ministry of Transport and the State Traffic Compliance and Enforcement Agency, TRACE.
Ogun State Commissioner in the Ministry of Physical Planning and Urban Development, Town Planner Tunji Odunlami, while presenting a total budget of 1.290 billion naira for the next fiscal year before the Committee on Finance and Appropriation, chaired by Honorable Musefiu Lamidi, clarified that the sum of 999.9 million naira would go for capital expenditure, while the remaining 290 million naira was being earmarked for recurrent expenditure for next year. On his part, The State Commissioner for Housing, Jagumolu Akonde Omoniyi, said the ministry is set to construct about 10,000 affordable housing units for the residents of the state next year. The commissioner explained that the essence of the housing scheme was to address housing deficits among residents while taking advantage offered by public-private partnership arrangements.
The policy of this state government is to ensure that housing is a right of every Ogun citizen and not as a privilege for the few. We'll be leveraging on all this comparative advantage that we have to bring affordable housing to the doorsteps of an average Ogun State citizen.
He thereafter defended the ministry's total budget proposal of 2.42 billion naira for the next fiscal year, out of which 1.799 billion naira would go for capital projects, while the sum of 242 million naira would go for recurrent expenditure. Other agencies that had their 2024 budget proposal considered by the lawmakers included the State Housing Corporation, Ministry of Forestry, Ministry of Agriculture, and Bureau of Lands and Survey, among others. Recalling on their personal intervention on some roads within their constituencies, carried out through grading and application of palliative, members of the Ogun State House of Assembly, while playing host to the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure during the ongoing 2024 budget defense, noted that there was need to prioritize roads of economic value that would aid economic growth of the rural communities to make life more comfortable for them. They sought for improved funding for the State Public Works Agency to carry out routine maintenance of all roads across the state. The assemblymen therefore urged the agencies to conduct a feasibility study on roads across the 3 senatorial districts and take advantage of the current dry season to apply palliative on more roads. Earlier, the State Commissioner for Works and Infrastructure, Engineer Adebowale Akinsanya, took time to explain government's efforts at making life comfortable for all residents through a massive construction, rehabilitation and reconstruction of roads across the state, and later defended a total budget size of 170.563 billion naira for the next fiscal year. According to Akinsanya, the sum consisted of 170.220 billion naira to cater for capital projects, while the recurrent expenditure will go up 243.73 million naira.
Next year, our priority will be to complete all the ongoing projects. Some of the key ones is the Aton Sada Agara Road. So the pressure is on my neck by the governor to finish it within the next 6 to 7 months. Hopefully there will be no rain. Then also the flat project, the Gateway International Airport, which is coming to fruition very soon. Then we also complete the Sogo Ijoko to Akute project.
He explained that the main objective of the 2024 budget proposal was the completion of the ongoing roads across the state, as well as river crossing and overhead bridges, while initiating new roads to ensure that standard roads are present in all the geopolitical zones of the state.